Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today we're taking a look at these Glacier tire cables and see how they fit on our 2024 Ford Bronco with 285 over 70 R17 tires. Now, tire cables and tire chains are an excellent way to get that traction that you need through snow, ice, and mud. These tire cables are a kind of a light duty option. They're going to be great in light snow, they're going to be pretty good for busting up ice, and they're going to be pretty decent in the mud too. The advantage to a tire cable is that they're pretty compact and pretty light, so they are a nice item to leave in the car as a just in case. Or if you're going on a road trip and you're traveling through some mountainous areas where certain sections of road they require you to have cables or chains in the car, this ends up being a good option for that as well. These are going to be made out of an alloy that's going to make it extremely corrosion and rust resistant. And what it involves really is cables, and it's got these kind of independent sections of rollers on each of them. This is going to provide a little bit of a smoother ride for you as you go through that ice and snow as these kind of roll along, while also giving you that bite and traction that you need. These are made in what's called a ladder pattern, which is excellent for that forward and backward traction that you're going to need while you're out there. And we also have a rubber tensioner with it that's going to help us as far as keeping it tight on our tires. Now, this is a manual adjusting tire cable, meaning that there are some different connection points both in the front here and in the back that we can adjust to make it looser or tighter, and the tensioner is going to help keep it in place as we go down the road. Now, one of the things that I should say, whenever you apply these, it is a good idea to drive a few feet forward and to drive a few feet back and double check them, because they don't really have an open bottom or anything like that to go around over the top like you would with an assisted tensioning. As you roll along, when these are initially put on, you've got this whole big gap underneath here. That is going to kind of adjust on its own as you move forward and backward a little bit. So do that a few times and make any adjustments necessary. They're also going to be something that you do want to kind of pull over every few miles and double check to make sure that they're not getting out of place. But with all that being said, installation is not all that difficult. So follow along. I'll show you exactly how we got these on our Bronco. Now, the first step in our installation process for these cables is going to be to identify that you have the correct side of the vehicle. Now, it's not all that common for tire chains to be side specific, but because of the way these attachments go, these will be. So there should be a little yellow tag on it, triangular tag just like this. It'll say left side, and it'll have an arrow for the tire rotation going forward. Left side meaning driver's side, which is where we're at. So we've got the correct cables. We've got them all laid out here, out flat like this, because what we want to do before installing them is double check to make sure there's no twists or kinks in it. If these are cables that we've used previously, we're also going to be checking for any damage they might have sustained on their previous use. The other thing that we're making sure that we do is on our connection points to the cable here, we'll have a side here that has an open end to the hook and a side here that's smooth where everything's closed. We want the smooth side facing down because that's the side that's going to end up going against our sidewalls. We want to make sure that open end's not there to cause any damage as we're going down the road. And finally, we're going to be putting it on the rear axle of our Bronco. Now, even though the Bronco is a 4x4, and most 4x4s ask for chains to be put on the front, there really isn't any wheel clearance up there with the Bronco because of some of the suspension and brake components. So they do recommend in the Ford manual that they go on the rear tire where there's plenty of wheel clearance. So with all that being said, we're all ready to go ahead and put these on. We're going to go ahead and pick them up, and we're just going to drape them over our tire. Now, this just takes a little bit of work because tires like this with these deep grooves can kind of catch it. Doesn't slide real easily across there, plus all these multiple links make it that way as well. But the good news is we're putting these on for traction, and that's a good sign. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of try to evenly space these cables. I'm making sure that even if it's wrapped all the way around, this cable isn't coming into contact with our actual wheel. and I'm feeling pretty good about the way these look now. So we're gonna go under the car and behind the tire and make our first connection. So from under here, we can see on this end of the cable, we've got these little notches. There are 7 of them, and they're all different ways that we can adjust it looser or tighter using this connection point right here. We're making sure that this is facing out, because again, any open-ended hooks we want facing away from the tire. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this middle notch right here. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4 from the end. We may have to adjust a little tighter or a little looser, but we're gonna make our front connection before we determine that. So with this going through, just like this, we've also got some retaining clips back here that we could clip up our excess, but we're gonna hold off on that for now and make sure that this connection point is the correct one. But now that we've got this attached, and again, our cable is not coming into contact with the wheel here, we're gonna go ahead back out to the front and make our connection there. So from the front here, I'm just gonna kind of wrap this around and just kind of see which of these points is gonna be best. So it's probably gonna be either this one, which is the 5th from the end, or this one, the 6th from the end. We'll start with the 5th from the end and see how tight we can get that. So once that's on there, we've got this cam that we can come over and twist and latch through right back here on the open cable. And that's actually got some pretty good tension on it. So I'm pretty happy with the way this is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the excess in here through this red clip just to kind of keep it up and out of our way. And this, we haven't made any adjustment to the back either. So with that being said, I think we're in a good position in the back. This is a rubber tensioner. We have plenty of them available right here at etrailer.com for you to choose from. But the idea on this is that we're gonna hook it around in a star pattern, and it's gonna pull and make constant tension on this front cable. That way these won't slip around so much as they go down the road, and we're gonna be able to keep them in a good spot. So I'm gonna start right down here, and then I'm just gonna go opposite of that, right up over to here. And again, I'm just gonna continue going around in kind of a star pattern and get this tension going on these. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want these too close to each other. And now with that on, as you can see, it's really kind of pulling this in, making it a whole lot tighter. And this is going to be something that I think anybody that has any kind of a manual tension tire chain or tire cable should have with each set. It's just going to make it a lot easier and a lot safer for you as you're going up and down the road. Now you may be questioning the placement of this one here. You can make adjustments kind of however you want. What I didn't want to do was hook it around anything in the area here where it's going through this attachment. So I kind of put it over here more off to the side and out of its way. I just don't want anything tugging on this end of it and threatening to get that cable loose. So that's really all it comes down to when it comes to the installation for these Glacier tire cables. And if you decide that these are right for you and your Ford Bronco and you have an opportunity to get them and use them once or twice, please share with us what you think about them in the comments below. We'd love to share your experience with other neighbors so they can make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.